As you seek for the quality education. Students, this is the class 11th and subject is political science. This is the very first chapter, Constitution, why and how. So students, in this chapter we would like to discuss why do we need the Constitution. See the very first page, the introduction is shown here and you have to go through the chapter by yourself. Till you won't read the chapter, you won't understand the concept. Actually, the thing is very easy. What is the Constitution? Already you have read it in the 9th standard. Constitution is a set of laws and fundamental principles. It is to develop the relationship between the people and the government, which comprises number of articles which are about the state or the people. In the simple words, I would like to say Constitution is a set of rules and regulation. According to these rules and regulation, a country, any organization, even school, college, any office, even our homes, they need to have some set of rules and regulation to work properly. So same in the country, we need some set of rules, laws, according to which the government of the country works and even the people obeys it. So this is the meaning of the Constitution. Now we will discuss what is the need of the Constitution. Why do we need to frame the Constitution? As we have discussed, the Constitution makes the work simple or very easy. For the smooth working, we do need the Constitution. Here see on the NCERT book, why do we need the Constitution? Okay. So very first thing is given here, Constitution allows coordination and assurance. If we work according to the Constitution, it needs to be followed by the people. Actually, till the people won't follow the law, we cannot make the work properly, and even it also sets some limitation on the government. So we can say Constitution is needed to provide the basic rules to allow the minimal coordination among the people and the government. It sets the coordination and to specify how the government should work, what power should be given to the government, and how the government should take the decisions. Not only the powers, it also sets some limitations on the government. For example, if we are going to choose any candidate through the elections as our leader, MLA or a CM or PM, so we are providing some powers through the elections. But if the Constitution is there, that Constitution fix some limitation to use their powers. So due to this, the leaders or the required MLAs, MPs, they are not supposed to misuse their powers. So it is compulsory to lay down some limitation on the government's powers, and it also gives some rights to the citizen. So if the Constitution is providing some rights to the citizen, then they are having the power to limit the powers of the government. So both things are important. One side, Constitution gives the power to government as well as to people. On the other side, it limits the power. Okay students, if we want to enjoy the freedom, then we have to follow the limitations also. Next thing we are going to discuss here, see the next page of the NCERT book. It shows that the very first function of the Constitution is to provide a set of basic rules that allow the minimal coordination among the people and the society. And one activity is also given here. Now come to the next page. It specifies of decision making. Constitution is a body of fundamental principles according to which a state is constituted or governed. So, we need to have the Constitution to make the work proper. Let's see the next page. Actually, the few points are very important which are given here and highlighted or given with the different type of ink. So, it is very compulsory. Second function is also there appearing on the screen. See, The second function of the constitution is to specify who has the power to make the decision in the society. It decides how the government will be constituted. Means, according to the rules of the constitution, we are able to make our elections. We are able to choose our leaders. So side by side, it also mentions the limitations on the government and its powers. So as we are watching here a clip, a cartoon clip is given here. It shows that the countries of European Union, means it is an organization in the Europe. All these member countries, they form together a union that is known as the European Union. They also have prepared the constitution. As I have told you, even a country or any organization, they need to work properly, so they set some rules and regulations. Same in the European Union, they have set a constitution, but students, you have to remember, this constitution was failed. Actually, the rules were not followed by all members. So next thing we are going to discuss, third function, constitution is to set some limits on the government can impose on its citizens. Even the government can limit the rights of the citizens, and these limits are fundamental in the sense that the government may never trespass them. Means government cannot interfere in the basic rights of the citizens, but it can limit the rights. For example, any situation is there, and during that situation government can limit the right of moving here and there together at one place. Okay, so some aspirations are there and goals are there of a society. Actually, constitution limit themselves largely to allocate the decision making power and setting some limits to the government power. So in the 20th century, constitution, of which Indian constitution is the finest example to provide an enabling framework for the government and even the positive powers or positive things to express the aspirations and goals of the society. So go through this chapter very deeply, only then you can follow the meaning of this. But I would like to specify again, listen it very carefully. Constitution is a set of rules and laws and principles to make the work proper, and it sets the relationship and coordination between government and the people. So we do need the constitution. Constitution is also needed to lay some limitations both on the powers of the government as well as on the rights of the citizens. We also need the constitution to enable the government to fulfill the aspirations of the society. Whatever the works are needed, the hopes are needed from the government, they are being fulfilled only if the government works according to the rules and regulations given in the constitution. So students, constitution actually expresses the fundamental identity of the people. This quotation is very, very important. It may come as the question. It expresses the fundamental identity of the people. See here in the cartoon, the constitution makers who have to address themselves to very different aspirations. Now see in the diagram or in the cartoon, you can see the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Now see, Nehru is having the double faced. Nehru is trying to satisfy the people of different identities, different caste, ideologies, etc. So it is very necessary that constitution should satisfy the needs, ideologies and aspirations of the different section of the society. So this is the very important features. That's why we need the constitution. Now students, see the next page. The very next page, the fourth function of the constitution is to enable the government to fulfill the aspiration of the society and create conditions for a just society. Just society means when the constitution is able to provide justice, it is not inclined towards the special sect or the caste of the society, but it gives the justice to all people without any discriminations. So the Constitution of India We will discuss how it was framed. Actually, the Constitution of India was framed by the Constituent Assembly. So we will deal about the making of the Constitution in the next portion. Here the examples are also given of different countries, like this cartoon shows the Constitution of Kuwait. Saddam Hussein, he saw the conflict was there between the different ethnic groups in the country. So the people were given the different rights. For example, different caste, sects or religious people are shown here in Baghdad. See, the Sunnis, Shattis, Shias, one is having papers, second one is saying I am having the ink, third one saying that I am having the pen. So all sects of the society, they are claiming that they can write the constitution by themselves. But actually the ideal constitution, the good constitution presents the aspirations, hopes of all people of the society without any discriminations. So let's see the next one. The authority of the constitution means who is going to make the constitution, who are the people, those who promotes the rules and regulations, suggest the making of the constitution. Now, mode of promulgation. What is the meaning of this? Modes of promulgation. This refers to how constitution come into being, means how the constitution is being framed, what are the steps or the procedures, who drafted the constitution and how much authority did they have. So in many countries constitution remain it may be different because they are crafted even in some country by the military leaders and in some country it is by the people, for example in India, and even in some country it is recognized by the king or queen. So we'll deal the different types of the constitution making, but students we will focus on the constitution making in India. First of all, I am going to give the brief discussion of this. The Constitution of India was framed by the Constituent Assembly between December 1946 and November 1949. Listen the date once more. Constitution was started to frame in December 1946 and it was completed in November 1949 by Constituent Assembly. So at least you should remember this one for one mark question. Who prepared the Constitution of India? It was the Constituent Assembly. And how much time was approximately taken to frame the Constitution? Near about 3 years. Actually, it is 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. So let's see Constitution of India. It tries to give the balanced design, means all the institutions, legislature, executive, judiciary, even we are having the independent judiciary. So it tries to maintain the balance between three organs of the government. So this is a very good feature of Indian Constitution, that it provides balance between the different organs. Now you can see the Constitution of India is very hard as well as very flexible. See the very first line. The hard constitution means it is not possible to change it. But flexible means in some situations, if some rules, laws or principles, they becomes a hindrance among the people's progress, so we can change that. So we can change the constitution by the following procedure of amendments. That's why we can say the Constitution of India is very flexible. This is a very good feature, and students see the 9th point here. The Constitution is described as a living document. See the word, the Constitution of India is a living document, means It gives the response to the people's problems. Whenever we are having any problem, people they can approach to the judiciary, a higher court, lower court. So the courts are going to follow the rules and regulations which are given in the constitution, means whatever the problems are there, they are going to be solved through the constitutional provisions. So constitution responds to the problems. It means it's a living document. And most important thing, it is not a rigid constitution, it is very flexible. Due to the requirement, it can be changed or amended. But the amendment procedure is very tough. So we can say Indian Constitution is a good constitution that is prepared by the Constituent Assembly. See, Constituent Assembly that took near about 3 years, and till date, till today we are working according to the same constitution. It means this is a very successful constitution. Then Constituent Assembly, it had 8 major committees on different subjects. Students, the constitution was not prepared within one day or by the one person only. Actually, there were some different committees on the different subjects or issues. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel or B.R. Ambedkar, they chaired the committees. You should must know about the role of the Sardar Patel and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Those who also suggested the committees are very good suggestions to be done. Then we can say Constituent Assembly prepared the Constitution on 26 November 1949. But students, the Constitution was prepared on that 26 November, but it was came into force on 26 January 1950. So you must know about the fact why the Constitution was imposed on 26 January. Why we were waiting for the 26 January as the Constitution was already prepared on November 26. The reason is there was a historical fact. Actually, 26 January is having a very good importance in the history of the freedom struggle. As the freedom fighter, the leaders of Congress, they took the oath on the bank of the river of Ravi, that they will set India a free India. So they celebrated as a complete Independence Day on 26 January 1931. After that, each year 26 January was celebrated as the complete Independence Day. So to make the day memorable, our Constituent Assembly decided to enforce the Constitution on the same date, that is 26 January. You know what is the importance of 26 January nowadays? It is celebrated as the Republic Day, because on this day India got its Republic Constitution. Means the head of the state is not any king or queen. It is elected by the people. Here the government is elected by the people. Even our constitution that is enforced on 26 January, the very first page of the constitution, that is preamble, it shows that the Constitution is adopted on the behalf of all people of India. It starts, we the people of India. So students, here I would like to mention, you must go through the preamble of the Constitution. It is given at the back of the books also. So Constituent Assembly, each committee usually drafted the particular provisions of the Constitution, which were then subjected to debate by entire assembly, and whatever the things were approved, they were approved by thoroughly debates, discussions, then the final results, then the final laws were prepared. So Constitution of India was prepared with a great toil, with a great work. Now see the other cartoon question. This cartoon shows that the Constitution as a castle of cards. Castle of card means this is very fragile. It may be fall anytime. Means if the Constitution is not having a basic power, the base is not strong, it is not based on the good aspirations or good rules, laws, debates. so it can be flopped. But Indian Constitution is not such like that. It is still working. It means it is showing itself that Indian Constitution is the strongest constitution and a very good constitution. Then there are the different feature of Indian Constitution. We can revise this. It is in the written form. It is the longest constitution, and it is a living document. It responds to the people's problem, and it is very rigid as well as it is very flexible. Means the Indian Constitution, it cannot be changed by one person. It needs to be amended with the help of assembly members. The presence of assembly, two-third majority is must. Half of the state assembly, they should give the approval to this. So we can say it is a difficult process, but it is not impossible to change it according to need, or we can change or amend the things according to requirement. Now see the composition of a Constituent Assembly. So this is very important. Short note on the composition of Constituent Assembly. Actually, the partition took place on 3rd June 1947. The members who were elected from the territories. Actually, in the Constituent Assembly, we were having the elected members. But on 3rd June, few members left the Constituent Assembly of Indian Constitution. Why? Because the Muslim League, they demanded for a separate state, that is Pakistan. So the few members left the Constituent Assembly. Only 299 members were left when it was adopted on 26 November 1949. 284 members were actually present on 24 January 1950. So students, this is also very important information. Near about 300 members, 299 members. But how many members were present when it was in force? Only 284 members. So don't get confused when the books or other solutions are giving the different number of the members of a Constituent Assembly. Now see the principle of a deliberation. Deliberation. The authority of a Constituent Assembly doesn't come only from the fact that it was broadly, though not perfectly, representatives. They comes from the procedure through the elections. Means all the members, they included the values by their own deliberations. They were not forced to do the work. It is the deliberated constitution which is done by with the will of the people, by the own choice of the people. On the behalf of the people, the Constituent Assembly worked and prepared all the principles, rules, laws, even the rights and duties. All these are framed according to the need of the people. Now see the procedure. The importance of public reason was emphasized in the mundane well, the Constituent Assembly had 8 major committees. We already have discussed. So this is also very important. You should go through this. Students, soon I will provide you the audio video lecture. Today I am just giving the introduction of the chapter. So you should go through. Actually, this is the very first chapter and the subject is new to you. It's not totally new. At least you must have some basic knowledge in the earlier classes of 9th and 10th standard. Now the very important points are there. The basic points of objectives or resolutions why the constitution was prepared. Actually, India is an independent, so it is having the focus on its sovereignty and republic. India shall be a union, erstwhile British Indian territories, Indian state and other parts outside the British Indian state as well as the part of the unions. So these are the very important objectives of resolution. The territories in integrity of the republic, it is must. The minorities and backward classes, the tribal classes, they will also provided some adequate safeguards, because in India there was the caste system. So it was very important to safeguard the minorities, the backward classes, those who are in very less number, and those who were often deprived by the basic facilities. So the constitution makers, they focused how to uplift the minorities and the backward classes. So many reservation and special rights are given just to uplift the people. Then we will talk about the other features of the constitution. The very important feature of the constitution, we can say, it is the back of the body. See the very important diagram. This diagram you can create as an activity on A4 sheet also. Actually, Indian constitution was not thoroughly framed by the Indian people. Actually, concepts were taken from the foreign countries. Many concept ideas were taken from different countries. For example, we had taken the idea of parliamentary government, that is from the British Constitution. From Irish Constitution, we have taken the directive principle of the state policy. And from the French Constitution, the ideas of liberty, equality, fraternity, these were borrowed from the French Constitution. And students, see from the Canadian Constitution, a quasi-federal system means a half type of federal system of government that is taken from the Canadian Constitution. And even the idea of residual powers, we will discuss later on in the other chapters. Different types of powers are there in the Constitution, that few powers are given to center, few are given to state, few are the power residual power. So this idea is taken from the Canadian Constitution. And from USA we have taken the fundamental rights. Even the power of judicial review we have taken from the USA. So these are the different concepts we have borrowed from the other countries. That's why Indian Constitution is known as the bag of borrowing. So student, this is the chapter number 1 related to the Indian Constitution. Few examples are there of different countries like Nepal, our neighboring country. Many times the constitution was framed on the basis of democracy, and sometimes it framed the constitution according to monarchy. So we can say Indian constitution is a unique one constitution, but in the history of the democratic countries, we can say the South Africa, it has the finest constitution. Actually, this constitution also has taken some ideas from Indian constitution. So this was the chapter. You should go through the chapter. Whatever the problem will be there, you can ask me. Till that, stay connected. I'll send the video soon.